Welcome to the Podketeers podcast, episode 204. I have personally had a challenging week with head and chest congestion, but we did it, everyone. We made it through the week. I'm not 100 yet, but definitely getting there. And throughout this episode, I sounded mysterious and exotic. Some people might just say that I sounded sick, but I mean, whatever. What do they know? Anyway, this week, Melissa, VJ, and I talk about the Churro challenge, the original Iron Man suit going missing, and somehow the question is asked, I wonder what it smells like in there. We also talk about a parade float at Walt Disney World that caught fire this last week. It was a pretty chill episode with me trying to catch my breath for most of it, but, you know, that's what happens when you sound mysterious and exotic, or straight up sick. I don't know, whatever. Anyhow, this episode of Podketeers is made possible by the generosity of listeners just like you that we like to call our podcast Fairy Godparents. If you would like to become a Fairy Godparent of our podcast, you can do so for as little as $1 per month via Patreon. But if you sign up for a contribution of at least $5 per month, you will also get the exclusive Fairy Godparent button as a thank you for your support. If you would like more information, just head on over to podketeers.com/FGP for more info. If you'd like to do that clickety and order a thing on Amazon like I do, before you place your next order, consider starting that purchase by going to podketeers.com/Amazon. On that page, you're going to find this really ridiculously large Amazon button that when you click on it will take you to Amazon using our special link, and anything that you buy during that purchase may earn us a small commission from your purchase. It's another great way to help support the podcast with only a few extra clicks, and to everyone that's already doing that, thank you very much for that contribution. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. Just search for Podketeers. On YouTube, you will find us at youtube.com/Podketeers and youtube.com/Disney42. That's Disney FOR2. If you haven't had a chance, check out some of the videos. We would love it if you took a moment to subscribe, but when you do, make sure to ring that little bell icon for notifications so that you are notified by YouTube when new videos are posted, because who would have thought that subscribing would be enough, right? I mean, that's a thing that YouTube does. Plus, for more information on each of us, you can head over to podketeers.com/team for all of our personal links and all that other good stuff. If you're new to the podcast, welcome to the Podketeers family. We hope you like what you hear and that you'll keep coming back for more, and that you tell your friends about us. Make sure to check out podketeers.com/204 for some pictures and videos and a couple more things that we talk about in this episode. And so, here we go. Here is episode 204 of Podketeers. This is our podcast. We're a group of friends that loves Disney, technology, art, food, and more. This is Podketeers. So, if there's anything that I realized this last week, guys, is that not everybody can have the fame of Phoebe Buffay. I figured that, considering that I have this amazing sounding voice, that I could release my own version of Smelly Cat. But it just did not work out for me.
Poor thing.
Oh, so this is real. I thought you were trying to call in work and pretend you were sick or something.
No, you want to hear something funny? So I'm not the type of person to call out of work, and it angers several people, including my wife. And the way that I feel about calling out sick is, I don't know why it's been ingrained into my head that if I can get up and do something, just get up and do something. You know, if I'm not essentially on my deathbed, I should be doing something. And that's kind of how I function. Like, if I have a little fever, as long as I'm not toppling over, I'm working on something. And so I was I generally subscribe to the theory that if you are sick, you're no longer contagious, essentially, unless you're like licking everything. But, I believe in the whole like, oh, you're kind of most contagious like the first day or two before you even show symptoms. By the time you show symptoms, yes, you are contagious, but not as contagious as you were before you started showing the symptoms, right? And so at work,
Whose philosophy is
This
this?
logic.
I don't know, it's all flawed, but it's
Don't mind that phlegm. Sorry, Steve.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I have gone to work essentially every day this week, and I'm far enough away from everybody that I wasn't a nuisance, so to speak. Except that on Friday, one of my colleagues said, "You know what? Workload is low. You should go home and you should get some rest." And I thought, this is ridiculous. What am I going to do at home? Sleep? I'm going to stay
Rest?
here. Workload is low. I'm just going to get the work done. And so she went and ratted me out to our supervisor, who promptly walked over to my desk and said, "Hey, so we hear you're a little sick." I was like, And so I'm trying not to talk so that she can't hear me. And she's like, "Yeah, so how do you feel right now?" And I'm giving her like a thumbs up, right? Like she's giving me like all these questions and stuff so that I can physically answer so she can hear me. And then finally I had to say something. She's like, "Yeah, you should go home and get some rest." And I told her, "You know what? I'll be honest with you. If I go home, I'm not going to rest. My brain doesn't function like that. I'm going to do something. I'm going to start cleaning, or I'm going to mow my lawn or something. My brain does not know how to shut down."
What is wrong with you, dude?
I don't know, man. I'm always working on something. I'm always doing stuff. I can't. I really, it's so weird. I feel like I don't know how to relax. I feel like I never learned that skill. And people like maybe laughing because I said learn that skill, but I feel like it is kind of a skill that you have to learn. And I think now, as I get older, I'm appreciating it a little bit more, because now I'll get up like on a Saturday morning. I'm the first one to wake up at home, and so usually before I would just get started on something. Like I would just go straight to work. But now, like, I'll get up and I'll make some coffee. I'll, read through the articles that come up on my phone, and I'll sit there for a good 30, 45 minutes, enjoy the quiet, before the storm that is the kids hits the living room. And so I'm enjoying, the quiet time now a little bit more. But yeah, I got officially sent home for the first time in my life for being sick at work. And it was quite an experience. I was like, "What if I sing you a song? Smelly cat, smelly cat."
So you're that guy who gets everybody sick at work.
I told you, man. If I got everybody sick, it would have been at our all staff meeting the week before, because that's when everybody was there. But I have a feeling that somebody got me sick there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it was me, because there was several people coughing that day, and I was not coughing that day.
Ever see that movie Outbreak?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You heard the monkey.
Yeah. I was patient zero. So yeah, it's been a challenging week, because most of the days I had a bit of a fever. I had headaches and editing and getting a few things done that I needed to get done this week. Just posed a little bit of a challenge, but I got them done. I'm happy that I got them done. And I'm glad that we're able to record a little bit earlier this week, even though Gavin and AJ couldn't make it. I'm glad that we're able to get together to record, because that means that we don't have to be up super late, recording. I am bummed out that I'm going to be missing Sam's show down at Pop Comics because I'm so sick. But I don't want to get him and, his family sick, and anybody else attending, you guys, because I know the plan was to get together after the show. We were all going to head down, go to the show, and then record after. But, yeah, my wife kind of said, "Yeah, why are you putting everyone else at risk? Stay here. Don't go anywhere."
What was the show? Was it a Steven Spielberg?
The Spielberg show,
Yeah.
It was
And
gonna
there's
be
so many
Spielberg
great artists.
turns into Walking Dead. Thanks, Heyzen.
But there was so many great artists. You know, I love going to the openings of these because one, you get to meet the people that make these pieces of art, but at the same time, you get a chance to see. Sam has this really cool way of launching shows where at every one he seems to have, or really tries hard to have something spectacular that has to do with that show. Like my favorite thing that he's done is, did you ever go to the show where he had the DeLorean?
I have not.
No. So he always tries to have like some kind of special thing, you know, having to do with the show, whether it's a nice car or some kind of movie prop or something. And I don't know what it was going to be for this one, but he does a really great job of putting on those shows. And man, I'm just kind of bummed that I'm not going to get a chance to go now.
I'll let you know if Clever Girl makes an appearance, because that would be awesome.
That'd be funny. Or a dinosaur.
Something.
Something, yeah. Well, are you still going to go to the show, Melissa?
Yeah, I'll go.
Oh, nice.
We'll still have time, so I'm gonna go. I have actually my friend Clark. He's gonna be there, so he has, I think, 2 paintings at the moment.
Oh,
So
very cool.
the one thing I'm kind of dreading is going over there and dropping money like I did the last time.
Yeah.
So,
but you got some sweet
yeah.
prints out of it the last time.
I did. I got the Golden Girls silhouettes, and I had to take all 4, and they're
I
awesome.
mean, you can't separate the Golden Girls. You got to get them all.
You have to.
Right.
You have to try to get Betty White's signature on hers.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
I don't know how we would do that, but yes, that would be a goal.
Let me send her a text message. I got this.
All right, ask Bobby,
No,
because
I got her.
she's a legend.
Last time
Do
we were
it.
at a club dabbing it up together, so you know it was her birthday and it is a thing. What's your buddy Clark's Instagram account so we can give him a shout out, so we can post a couple of his things on the blog post for this episode?
Okay, so his Instagram is at Art of Clark Silva, and he's actually pretty cool. He's gone into a few shows with not just Popzilla Gallery, but with Fan Alley.
You know what?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was your same friend. He's not my friend, but I got a chance to meet him at one of the other shows that Sam put on. He's actually he's so talented. I follow him on Instagram, and the last thing that I remember him posting was like a Dia de los Muertos Groot thing.
Yes.
Oh my God, it was the coolest thing I've seen in some time. Yeah, he's a great artist. Yeah, we'll give him a shout out. Hello, Clark. We'll put your Instagram account in the blog post for the episode. Podketeers.com/204 if you guys want to check it out. Make sure to give him a follow, give him a thumbs up, and if you're at the show or you were at the show, you know, comment and tag him. I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
Definitely.
Oh, I hurt, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm struggling a little bit getting through this, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna just march on through.
Luckily, AJ's not here. She'll probably get sick just by listening to you.
Just by listening. That's funny. So, Melissa, I think we were all extremely happy for you this last week. When you said the words in our chat that we were all waiting for you to say, and that was...
I finally got to see Black Panther.
Yes.
No.
I will
it's
say...
Wakanda forever.
I'm sorry.
That came after.
Finally.
Finally. As soon as I found out it was available on Movies Anywhere, I bought it. I didn't care if I didn't get the points or anything. I wanted to see it. And I was not disappointed, of course, but it is so awesome.
Right?
So awesome. And Shuri does fight in this. So yes, I will bring it up. I am a stubborn person. I will bring it up. And I will fight for her. But she is awesome. Oh my gosh. Now, I mentioned that She is a female equivalent of Iron Man, and Heyzen disagrees. But I think she's pretty intelligent, and all the stuff that she comes up with.
She's totally BA.
Yeah, she's BA.
She is.
She's a BAMF.
She's a BAMF, okay. Yes, she is. But in all fairness, she doesn't wear the suit. I mean, I will say that she's a superhero on her own part because of everything she made for T'Challa, all the fight scenes. But I mean, she doesn't wear the awesome suit, right? So I'm just saying.
And then also, I found it to be just so beautiful. The color palette is just beautiful. The blues, the purples, the pinks, and oranges. I think it's easily gonna. Oh man!
And all those colors represented something in Wakanda, which was great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to
check up on that.
You're gonna have to go down that rabbit hole on YouTube and see all the different things from what was it, the Esquire?
The set design. Yeah. They did so many amazing videos and articles about the set design, the costume design, how everything, every symbol meant something, every color meant something, every pattern meant something.
Even just the moves were just signified something different. I was like, this is intense. I mean, what's his name? Who's the director again?
Ryan Coogler.
That's right. He has a Bible of Wakanda that's huge. Yeah. So, and it's all him, just his notes. So, you have to check that out.
And it was funny, too, because I hadn't seen it before. I don't know how old it is, but I had seen a video earlier this week with Michael B. Jordan on a late-night talk show where he was talking about Killmonger and how when he was offered the role, he essentially kept a diary by Eric Killmonger, like stating where his background was, why he felt certain ways, how he, did this and this, and how it led to certain things in his life. And I thought, wow, creating your own backstory that is then vetted by the producer, and he's like, yeah, that sounds great, just go with that, and that puts you into the element. I was like, this dude is genius. That is amazing. So when you were watching it, how did, we mentioned several times before about how really T'Challa's not the main character in this one, the way that, let's say, Iron Man or Captain America or Thor are the leads in their specific movies. Did you feel that was the case here, or did you feel, did you agree with us that kind of everyone had a starring role?
I agreed with that because you got to see so much from everyone. His mom is not like put in the back or whatever, just like she's just there. She doesn't say anything. No, everybody had a say, and I loved it. I really did. That's something I really appreciated too, is just knowing a little bit more about what everyone's role is.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so glued.
What was your favorite scene? And by the way, this might get spoilery, guys, so if you don't like this part, maybe fast forward 30 to 45 seconds. Just to quote what we said before while Melissa's thinking, if you're one of the 2 or 3 people on Earth that hasn't seen Black Panther or Infinity War, you may want to fast forward 1 minute.
Oh gosh. I would say there's 2. When T'Challa goes back to the ancestors and seeing his dad, that was beautiful.
That's so Lion King, right?
Yeah. But it was beautiful, but I liked it. And
did you like the first one, first visit, or the second visit?
Oh, no, the first visit.
Okay. Because
that was like, it had a lot of sentimental, like, parts in it with his dad, like how he felt, and so it just, just besides Lion King, it's just, dang, that's how good the acting was. You just felt sad. So the other scene that was one of my favorites was when they're in South Korea and they're in the cars. And they're
the Fast and the Furious scene?
Yeah, but it was all females, and I loved the technology that they had and how they were shooting at the cars, and the bullets are just like flinging off like little fleas and stuff. I mean, it was awesome. And I wish I don't remember everyone's characters' names, but the woman that comes out, she's the warrior.
The bald one.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Where
No.
she comes out of the car and she's
Michonne,
on the car.
Okoye.
I loved her character. She was awesome too. As I was mentioning, how Okoye was on top of the car, and just with her spear, she's just like ready to go, and they're going full speed. Dang, you just want to ride a car after that and be like, yeah, let's go do this.
That's like when you're watching that. For anybody that's done or at least seen the demo of how the Void does their VR, like their VR is nothing compared to that scene in Black Panther. Like that's the VR I would like to do.
Oh man. Well, if only they
so
had
intense.
the resources.
You know what? I'm going to just throw it out there. Everyone's going to be like, no, but hey, Radiator Spring Racers, just put some VR goggles. We're good.
Oh man, that'd be so fun. That would be so fun.
For a few seconds.
I'm glad that you finally had a chance to see Black Panther. As you could tell, it wasn't all the hype, right? It is an amazing film.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Which continues to break records to this day, by the way. And we could continue talking about all the records that Infinity War is breaking. I think now Gavin's the only one that hasn't seen Infinity War to catch up.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay. He says he has other priorities, and we're going to forgive him for those, at least for one more week.
So wait, is Black Panther only available for digital download right now, or is the actual movie out to buy?
Next Tuesday it should
be
out.
Okay.
By the time this episode is released, it will be available for copy with Blu-ray. So if you guys go over to podketeers.com/204, if you guys would like to help us out, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. We're going to put a link to purchase Black Panther using our Amazon link. Just click on the Black Panther movie. It'll take you to Amazon using our special link. And if you purchase it, we'll get a very small kickback from Amazon as a thank you because you went through it. I mean, also, this is a great opportunity to plug becoming a Fairy Godparent, because if you are not part of our Podketeers Fairy Godparents, you are missing out on our extended talk on Black Panther that was exclusive for our Fairy Godparents via Patreon. If you're new to the podcast and don't know, our Fairy Godparents, most people have Patreons set up for their podcasts or for what they're producing, and they call them patrons or producers. We like to call our patrons our Fairy Godparents, and that's kind of where the name came from. They like to call themselves the FGP Squad. Melissa, for a long time running, has been a part of the FGP Squad. She's always been a huge supporter. Still is, even though she's on the podcast. I keep fighting with her, but she's still doing it. She loves it.
Stubborn.
And we thank her. So if you would like to become a part of the FGP Squad, you can do so for as little as $1 a month. But if you sign up for a contribution of at least $5 per month, you also get the exclusive Fairy Godparent button as a thank you for your support. And we are working on additional tiers and surprises for the FGP Squad, coming up soon. We're working on that in the background, so stay tuned for a few more surprises. Yeah, Black Panther. I'm excited. I didn't get the digital copy. I'm surprised that they didn't give you any additional content, though. That was the one reason why I've always stayed away from making digital purchases. I always tend to buy the Blu-rays because I love seeing the special features. And I always felt that if I just rented or purchased the digital version, that I would lose out on all of that. And so you're telling me that you only got the film?
Yep.
Damn, I was right. That sucks.
But you know what? At that point, because I really wanted to see it, and I remember how I had that chance.
Yeah.
I just didn't get a chance to go see it. So, yeah, it was like a movie ticket,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I could see it like that. I mean, I don't know. I think I would have just rented it.
I don't.
Is it available to rent right now if the
I don't think
movie's not
I don't
out?
think it was.
Oh,
No.
it's not? Oh, well.
No.
Well, you took the right route. At least you saw it. Plus, you did it in the comfort of your own home, which was great.
I did.
So
But it's still in theaters.
it still
I know,
is.
right?
It's so surprising. And the crazy thing is that it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. You know, even though the Blu-ray is out, I think it's still going to continue making money at the theater because it's an experience to watch it on a screen that large. You know, so I wouldn't mind seeing it at the theater one more time, even though I've already pre-ordered the Blu-ray.
4D? Because
Yeah.
that would be fun.
Yeah, I want to see Infinity War in 4D. That's the one I really want to go for.
I want to see it in 4D, but I also want to see it in Dolby Cinema.
Yeah, that'd be really good. So since we're on the Marvel topic, before we go away, I just want to say, if you know or are responsible for Iron Man's suit missing, please give it back.
Are you talking to yourself in the mirror, Heyzen?
No, I am not. I am not. In case you guys didn't hear, last week it was reported that the original Iron Man suit that Robert Downey Jr. had worn in the original Iron Man was stolen from a storage facility, I believe in Pacoima, California. And I think it was like a movie prop storage facility. I mean, I read this story, and all I could remember thinking to myself was, what are you going to do with this? It's not like you could be like, hey, bro, I got Iron Man's suit. Kick me down with some cat. Like, they're going to trace it somehow. It's not like it's not like a puppy.
Would they be able to trace this or track it down? Because I'm thinking it's going to be like the movies you see where people steal art, and then it's going to be in this secret man cave vault, and only they know until somebody sees it and goes, is that an original Iron Man suit? I don't know what you're talking about.
That would be horrible.
That's from Comic-Con.
It's hard to say. I mean, at this point, the fact that it's gone, if that is the case, it might not be retrieved until somebody decides to come up and say, hey, I'm trying to sell this to somebody. Right? And it somehow gets out that there's a bidding war for this original Iron Man suit, because at that point they're going to start questioning where you got it or who you bought it from and, you know, where it originated. But other than that, it looks like it just might be gone. Right?
I would think
That's
so.
sad.
Or they're making molds out of everything and just creating all these Iron Man suits and selling those.
That magically just appeared out of air.
But you wouldn't even need it anymore, because with 3D technology, like 3D printing has come such a long way that if you have a really nice 3D model of something, you could essentially build your own Iron Man suit.
I guess so. But this is the actual suit. Not made from a toy, not scanned from something, but...
You don't need the actual suit. Just... And Colin Firth aside, right? Because his Hulkbuster was... I mean, it had the general shape and it had some cool features, but considering what I saw him do with the TIE Fighter, this was a step down. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love seeing a large version of the Hulkbuster, you know, standing there doing stuff. But, I mean, have you seen some of the Iron Man and Hulkbuster suits that people go to Comic-Con?
Yeah.
They're intense. They're so detailed, and they generally, if they don't buy it pre-made from somebody, most of the time they are using 3D software and 3D printing pieces that they are like snapping together to make these costumes.
So, talking about Comic-Con, I wonder if we're going to see this suit just randomly walking around on the floor.
I'm sure they wouldn't.
Someone.
I'm sure they wouldn't do that.
And then I had another question. I'm curious as to what it smells like, because it's
I was going to say it
been
smells
there.
like Robert Downey Jr.'s...
Like his sweat.
See, I'm curious.
What's that smell?
Man.
Oh, it's the essence.
It's the essence of RDJ. Well,
Wow.
if anything, they could at least clone that and bottle it, and I'm sure people would buy
I would. No, I'm just
it.
kidding.
Now available in spray-on formula. Oh man. Well, it was sad to hear. I didn't even know what to make of that story. Like I said, there's not much you can do with it. If you're the person that has it, I guess now you can't really do much with it. But
It's like the 8,000 tickets, Disney tickets that they couldn't do with.
yeah,
Right? That
yeah.
were stolen.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird.
Crazy world we live in.
So let me ask you guys a question. I saw this on Instagram, and I think you guys were a little bit more forgiving about this than I was. The Churro Challenge. You guys are familiar with it. For those that have never heard of this thing before, Disneyland traditionally for Easter has done these Easter egg hunts where it first started just at Disneyland, it expanded to DCA, then it eventually expanded to Downtown Disney. You purchase a map for $5, and it should work that if you find all of the eggs, you go and redeem your prize. But as a time saver, they give you your prize up front. And, okay, it's a little bit more forgiving for Easter because it's a lot of stuff that you have to find. But with the Easter egg hunt, you spend $5 and then you go off on this Easter egg hunt with your kids or with your significant other, by yourself, however you want to do this. But that's it. You spend $5. Unless you want to do one or more, then it's maybe up to $15 to do all three of them. Now, the maps are optional. The maps are essentially a collector's item, so to speak, because you can go on the Easter egg hunts without the map. You just won't know exactly how many there are unless you take a picture of one or you kind of follow the map that they have on display before you go off on your journey.
Right.
So this last week, Disneyland decided to release the Churro Challenge. I don't know much about this. Can one of you guys fill this in? Fill us in on what the Churro Challenge is exactly?
Go for it, VJ.
So what I've seen on Instagram is basically it's kind of like a map, similar to the one you would get at Easter, but it's for 4 of the churros for Pixar Fest. So you have the lemon churro at Town Square, which tastes like Fruity Pebbles. There's the cocoa churro at Frontierland, the chocolate one, and then the carrot cake churro at New Orleans Square. And the only one that's at DCA is the cereal one, which is the Cocoa Krispies with the donut drizzle on top. That's only half, or I should say a quarter of it now, I should say. And that's the only churros that are on there. And it kind of buzzed me and AJ out because we already did it. We did all the churros, including the strawberry one and the rose gold one at Tomorrowland and in front of the castle. And now they have a cool AP button with Mike and Sully. So I'm like, can I show you the receipts that I already did it way before
Or
you already
the vlog.
That would
I know,
be
right?
good.
You could show them the vlog and you're eating them, right?
Right? But I mean, like the Easter egg one, you just pay the $5 for the map and they already give you the prize, which is the button. So, I mean, you're going to have to pay that regardless. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I first saw this, this was my problem with it, okay? As a consumer with 2 children that also want to try everything, the churros, all the Pixar Fest churros are what, VJ? $5 or $6 a piece.
I would say I think they're $5.25. So I think
$5.
they're
That sounds about
75
right.
cents more than
Let's round them
normal.
down. Let's say they're $5 a piece, right? In order to try all of these, that's $25.
including
right?
the map, yeah.
Including the map. So from a consumer standpoint, whoa, seriously, Disneyland? But from a marketing standpoint and from, I guess,
Yeah.
the business standpoint, way to go, Disneyland. Way to get people to buy more stuff. It kind of reminds me of what we were talking about when Liam was on the podcast, when he said, look, churros are churros, right? You go for the classic one, you're happy with the classic one, but they have all these other ones, and all of a sudden you bought all these other churros that you possibly weren't going to buy.
Right.
And now you attach this gamified aspect to the churros, and now you're having fun eating the churros because, wow, you're trying to fill up the map. When, like you said, you guys already did it without the map.
Right.
So I wonder, like, if you could redeem the churros after. Or how does it... I want to know how, how do you go on with this thing?
So apparently, if you purchase the map and you go to a churro cart, I believe they give you a sticker that you've done the challenge, but they already give you the button right off the bat. So
Oh.
it's not, it's just like Easter. You don't, I mean, technically you don't even have to try the churros. I think they're just selling the button. But I mean, why buy it if you're not going to try the churros?
Right. Like, that one you should, try them all and be like, okay, I did try this. Because that's a pretty expensive button.
Do you think that it's going to be super popular because it's the Churro Challenge? Do you think it's going to be super popular because it's Pixar Fest? Or do you think this is going to be one of those flops that just not enough people do and they probably won't do again?
Flop.
VJ, what about you?
I don't think it'll be as popular as, say, Easter, but I mean, if you look at the hashtag Churro Challenge, there's already over 300 posts of people that bought it, and they're holding almost all the churros. So I don't think it's a flop. I mean, how much is a pin, being made, or the button, and to print out one of those maps? So I think it's good marketing, like you were saying earlier,
Yeah.
because it is $5 for the map, and you get and that's tax included, and you get the button, and then it's up to you if you're gonna buy the churros. So I mean, it could be a $5, like, say the button's only 50 cents at the most with the map, and then they're already spending 20 extra dollars on churros. Like you said, $25. In total, that's probably less than $2 for all 5 things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think plus it's an AP thing. They're all gonna want to post it first, and everybody's gonna want to do it. And once kids see it, they're like, "I want to do it too." And then you're like, "Oh, that sugar."
And see, that's what I'm afraid of. Like, when it comes, like, to me, we can't get one of these maps and just share it. Like, each of my kids always wants to have their own. So you said there's 300 posts?
Yeah, from what I'm seeing with churro challenges and everything.
So let's play devil's advocate. How long has this been out? About a week now, right?
No, just a few days. Well, I mean, when this podcast comes out, it's going to be almost a week.
Yeah. Okay, so so let's go by when we're recording. Let's say 3 days, 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so if those 300 posts, if each one of them had posted a picture of all 4 churros, that's only 75 people that have supposedly done this challenge.
Right.
But if each one of those posts was an individual churro throughout the challenge, that's significantly less.
Right. That's true. But if you look at, say, this picture I'm looking up, right? There's 186 comments already and 2,000 likes. And each one is like tagging somebody. We need to do this. Did you see this? Adult Day. Okay. Oh my God, there's really a churro challenge. We have to do this. So everybody wants to do it. I mean, if it's Disney, everybody's going to want to do it, right?
That's true.
Look at all the stuff that's coming out from junk food with Disney and junk food at Target. Everybody went to Target yesterday to post all the different stuff that they have. Some of our friends that we know went to 5 different Targets. I'm like,
seriously?
5 different Targets, and apparently each Target has different stuff. I don't know if that's Disney saying, hey, because there's 20 Targets within 4 square miles, we should spread it out. I don't know if that's
actually
true.
Smart.
But
wow.
I'm like, none of your stories were like that?
No.
I only saw
I
saw 2 people posting that. I didn't know it was like this huge thing.
Yeah, so many people that we know were like at Target. Even AJ AJ didn't go to Target because of it, but I was like, hey, you're at Target buying your stuff, food for us, but see what kind of Disney stuff they have. And then she showed me. I was like, wow, I want a Disney pet bed for our dogs.
No, that's crazy.
But yeah, anything Disney, people are going to go crazy.
That is a very true comment. So, okay, and obviously they don't have to listen to me, right? But I think that things like this might be a little bit more successful if they did, let's say, the churro challenge, but instead of forcing you to pay like another $6 for each one, maybe more people would be willing to pay $15 for the map or even $20 for the map, but at every stop they gave you like a third of a churro coated in the flavor and you got a chance to try like a bite-sized version of it just like as a sample.
Heck no. You get
No.
a
Really?
full-size churro.
I'm already
I was
shaking my
already
head
think-
like, no.
I was already thinking that if they sold this and then they'll give you like a certificate or whatever, or a pull tab like the Sip and Savor Pass, where you can go
Yeah.
into each cart and then you pull off a tab and they give you the full churro to try.
Oh,
'Cause
but it
then-
wouldn't be for $5 or for
No, no,
like
no,
10 or
no.
15.
Like maybe make it for $20. You know, if it's $25
That's
to
still a
do everything, make it 20. You could still try all the churros and you still get a prize. You know,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
because then you're securing, like if you were Disney, you were securing that, okay, I'm getting $20 and people get a value. So then it's not just like, oh, here's $5. I already have the button. I don't have to take the churros or eat the churros at all. You know? So, or
You
you,
know
can
what?
say,
I like that.
carrot cake. I don't like the smell of it. I pass, you know? So
Yeah.
I would
And
say
I
if they
think
did it for 20,
you would-
people
You
would
would
be
definitely
like,
sell more of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, and you know what? You're right, because if there was 5 or 6 churros in the challenge, but your tabs were only 4 or 5, like you would still have the option to choose one of them over another or just buy the other ones to fill up your map, right?
So there is only just 4 Pixar churros.
Oh, there are only 4.
Only 4.
Oh, well then there you go. Then I guess they covered all their bases then. You get all 4, you get a home run. Hey, look at that sports analogy. Sports.
Yay.
How many points is a home run, Heyzen?
7.
I wish.
Oh, that's funny.
Unless they hit the field goal.
Oh God.
Let us know what you guys think. Are you content with just purchasing this map and then going on this churro challenge and you're okay with just buying them? Or do you think you would get a little bit more out of it if they made it more like a scavenger hunt / food and wine festival where you purchase a lanyard and they pull off these tabs and you collect your stickers and at the end you redeem your prize because you went all around and tried all of the churros? Leave a comment in the blog post for the episode, podketeers.com/204, or on the Instagram or Facebook post for this episode. We love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you think there's a better way of doing it, leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear that too.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. So there was something that I wanted to talk about that happened this last week. And I want to get your take on it. Because we've talked about things happening in the park before, and we've talked about park security, and we've talked about park safety. We talked about this last year when the blackout happened at Disneyland, right? Where half of the park had lost power, and so people were kind of freaking out because they couldn't get on rides, and oh my God, they spent all this money. But something much more serious happened at Walt Disney World this last week, and during the Festival of Fantasy parade, I don't know if you guys know about this, but they have this really amazing, beautifully structured, steampunk-looking Maleficent Dragon as part of it. I haven't been to Disney World, but I feel like I have because I've seen it all on YouTube. Hashtag it counts. But, this last week during one of the parades, the Maleficent float caught fire. And I haven't been able to find a source that's at least reliable explaining what may have happened to cause the fire in the first place. But one, as you guys were kind of seeing these videos that people were posting on Instagram and on Facebook, the tweets were happening, what went through your heads first of all?
I'm surprised there were so many people that close. I mean, fairly close proximity to that float as it's burning up, poor thing. But yeah, I'm surprised that there was so many people there. I mean, we don't know what could have happened, and luckily nothing else happened.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad that she just, yeah.
It was like the real life Phantasmic.
Oh, you're gonna
Well, I
I'm
said that
trying to
before
like.
that meme came out, but
I
I was like,
know.
no. To me, it hurt
Yeah.
because that was my favorite float, and you've heard me say that on the podcast before. I was
Yeah.
It's a
like,
beautiful float.
it's so awesome. It's so huge, and it's very menacing, and you're like looking at it, and it
Yeah.
blows
Yeah.
fire. Uh, like I actually chased down that float, like saw it in Liberty Square, and then ran down Main Street to catch it again, just to see it breathe fire. It's awesome. But have you guys seen the picture of it afterwards? It looks like a
Oh my
wet
gosh,
dog, and I'm
yes.
like, how
It's
Yeah.
so
sad.
sad.
That's so sad. And everybody's like, rest in peace. I'm like, they're gonna bring it back.
They
And I'm
will.
sure, because yes, it's very close. Because it's a parade, so everybody sits on the curb or whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were safety protocols, like whenever what's the part, I guess, where she breathes fire. I'm sure they cut off the line so many different times so it doesn't get to the actual gas and explode. So I don't think, I think that's why it wasn't such a quote unquote big deal, like everybody run or scatter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my reaction with it, because I'm sure they weren't just gonna make one single line like, oop, like propane tank, turn it off, turn it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because while I was seeing this, I got to tell you the truth, man. I don't know. I know that there's a large segment of people that enjoy talking trash about the Disney company. I don't agree with everything that the Disney company does or says. I'm a huge fan of Disney, but I don't like when they raise ticket prices. I'm a consumer just like everybody else, right? I
Right.
have things that bother me. There's certain things that they do in the park that I think could use some improvement, but I try to be respectful when I give my opinion about something. But I know that there are people that are just bashing Disney left and right, and one of the things that kind of got to me was that, yeah, they deserve this. Like, people responding to this. I was like, no, they don't deserve this. Imagine the
Right.
people that were sitting there horrified at what was happening, the children that were scared, the cast members that were in such close proximity that could have been burned because of this accident. And the fact that there was people rooting it on, saying, yeah, they deserve this. No, they don't deserve it. And if you feel like that, there's something fundamentally wrong with how you see the world.
I agree.
And watching a few of the videos, there doesn't seem to be very many of when the fire actually started, except for one that I saw where the flame was kind of already kind of coming up on the
Yeah.
side of the Maleficent Dragon's head. But I don't know exactly what caused it. But what I didn't see was mass hysteria. And I was very surprised about that. People were fairly composed. Yes, there were some people moving away from it, but the cast members reacted so quickly. They were putting out the fire. I want to just send a shout out and, commend all of the cast members that acted so quickly, were able to put out the fire as quickly as they did. They didn't do damage to any of the buildings on Liberty Square.
Right.
There was no injuries.
Yeah.
Yes, the float was a little damaged. And at some point, I'm assuming that they'll put a few more regulations in place for stuff like this. What I hope doesn't happen is that this prompts the Disney company to say, well, we just can't do fire anymore.
Oh,
Because
I don't see that happening.
yeah, I really hope that's not what happens, because accidents do happen. I think we got very lucky this time. But I think, especially for that float, maybe even if they make it a little bit of a smaller flame, I don't know. I'm sure they'll do something to regulate so that something like this doesn't happen. Like VJ said, I'm sure that there was some kind of safety that triggered at like the dragon's neck,
Right.
maybe, so that it cut off the gas line so that it didn't continue blowing up the float or something. So
Right.
it was a scary situation, but I want to say that this is one of those times where you really see a company like Disney come together and their training really take effect in how quickly they were able to execute this emergency protocol to put the fire out.
Yeah. And this is like the reality part that hit me is that this is the Disney magic. I kind of forget that it's a float, and I keep thinking, okay, because you see it and it's a beautiful dragon. And when this happened, I'm like, I totally forgot there's a driver in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that hit me like, whoa, because you see it and you see Maleficent because you get so into what's happening. But yeah, I mean, I was just glad to hear that the driver was okay. Ooh, scary.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That when I started seeing some of the comments where people were like, yeah, we're like this and we feel like that and they deserve. I was like, no, there was a human being in there that could have been very seriously hurt. Not including Prince Philip that's in front of Maleficent, right before the fire comes out and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I'm glad that it wasn't bigger than it was, but I know that cast members, I mean, this was something that you went through, right, Melissa? As a cast member, you go through emergency protocol training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember them pushing that really hard on you when you were a cast member?
Yes, because there's times where something could happen, and we've had like false fire alarms, and you have to treat them as a threat. You don't know. So when you're doing all this, and they kind of talk to us a little bit afterwards to say, okay, this was good, blah, 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 give us some feedback. They never take anything lightly, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if we hear an alarm, treat it as an actual fire. So, I mean, to hear that the cast members over there did a great job and was calm, that's really good.
Yeah. I think on the lighter side, it was just funny that so many people were out there with their phones and stuff, taking pictures and recording. It's like, there's a fire, move back, forget about Instagram right now.
No.
It's like that meme of the asteroid coming in.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, you know what? Here, let's just record it. Why not?
Yeah, forget about running for shelter. Yeah.
Right? Priorities.
Well, like I said, I'm glad that everything turned out well. Again, congratulations to all of the cast members. We send out a huge shout out and commend you for your effort, hard work, and putting out that fire as quickly as it did, making sure that nobody was hurt during the incident. Tip of the hat to all of you, and
awesome job.
Awesome job. Did you ride Hyperspace Mountain?
Oh, you were supposed to go on it today, huh, Melissa?
I was supposed to.
Ugh, so nice.
But you could tell us. It's all right. It's not like it's going to spoil anything.
No, I know, but I mean, if you've been on Hyperspace, they just plussed it. It's a lot more, I wouldn't say more intense, but I would say it got like maybe a 15% upgrade with the second half of the attraction.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
all
cool.
right. I just want to know what. It's not going to spoil it for me because I think I'm going to be excited either way when I ride it.
Yeah.
What did they do to it that they plussed it?
Well, they basically put more projections and there's more lasers. So remember when the TIE
that
fighter,
was my favorite part.
when you duck underneath the TIE fighter that passes above your head?
Yes.
So, and then how it just keeps turning right and goes faster and faster. And usually you just see, oh, watch out behind you. And then they shoot. And then now there's lasers coming from every direction. You're like, what the heck is going on?
What?
And then they have
So you're
more.
essentially in the battle for real.
Yeah, like you're in a dogfight. And it's only happens in maybe 2 corners, but you're like, whoa, where did all these lasers come from?
That's
when you're not used to
awesome.
it, you're like, whoa, this is awesome. And then they have more projections of TIE fighters blowing up. So, yeah.
That's so
it's
cool.
pretty cool.
That's sweet.
Aside from adding the extra ones and the extra lasers, did they make them a little bit cleaner and a little bit brighter? Because there was certain sections where they looked a little dull.
Yeah,
and
I think it is because
they looked faker.
Because I saw the track a lot more this time. So I was like, wow, it is really bright. I don't know if my eyes were just adjusted but I don't think it would have been because I came from daytime inside. You know?
Yeah.
So your eyes are still trying to adjust. But when we went on, I was like, whoa, you could really see some of the track this time. So
Okay.
That's cool.
just make sure there's no grad night kids behind you.
Oh. It's that time of year again.
The worst season ever at Disney. Grad night.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to riding it. I think I've said it before on the podcast that Hyperspace Mountain is my favorite version of Space Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I know people are hardcore about classic Space Mountain, but I don't know. I think Hyperspace really brings an additional element to the attraction that it just adds a little bit more excitement to it. And Ghost Galaxy, I think, was supposed to do that, but it just fell short of every expectation that I had of it. And, you know, it's cool to say that you've been on it, and it's cool to be on Space Mountain, but, I mean, if I could choose between Ghost Galaxy and Hyperspace Mountain, Hyperspace Mountain,
that's not even a choice. But I'm glad it is an overlay that comes back, because then, like, they upped it a little bit more, so going to original and then back to Hyperspace, back and forth, I think that's cool. I think they should actually just do that. I don't know when the Season of the Force is, or do we know when Hyperspace is supposed to leave, or if it's going to?
Dude, I didn't even know it was
Can
coming
it
back.
not?
Yeah, it was funny. I posted saying like, on May 4th, I posted our picture with us on the lightsabers on Hyperspace. I'm like, I wish it would come back, and then it comes back that day. I'm like,
yeah,
didn't even know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Honestly, I didn't even know it was coming back. So I wonder how much work goes into. I mean, when you think of the overlay that happens at the Haunted Mansion, I mean, that is a 2-week process to convert the mansion into Nightmare Before Christmas. Mm-hmm. I wonder how much they have to do in order to convert Hyperspace or Space Mountain into Hyperspace or into Ghost Galaxy.
That's a good question.
I don't really think they have to do much, right? Change the CD. Turn off the
It's
projectors.
all digital now, VJ. It's called an MP3.
See, this, I really
That's how
hope
you know
this
it's original. It's CD.
My first picture, I was going to say, I have a picture of my first time riding Hyperspace, and I swear I have the derpiest face because I was so overwhelmed with everything that my face, I'm just looking up and there's like stars or something because it's just like, oh my God, what was that? Like, I have that face. I'm excited to ride it again.
I'm sure there's a picture, right now that you mentioned derpiest face, there's one photograph of me. I forgot what attraction I'm on. And I almost want to forget about it, but I'll tell you guys because, you know, no one else is listening. At most, like 12 or 13 people are listening. You guys know this.
Yep.
There's a photograph of me that I want to find now, but I remember having something. I wear contacts, right? And I remember at the time, one of my contacts I felt was kind of like folding in my eye, and it was like out of place. And so I was like blinking down, trying to hold it in place. And so I'm coming to where the photo's being taken, and so I'm like, one eye closed, and I'm like trying to like, and so it's just like one of those like faces that you just like, you look at it and you think, what was happening there? Why is that even a thing? I'm going to try to find it, and if not, maybe I should try to recreate it somewhere. Maybe that should be my new Hyperspace photo.
Did anybody purchase that race photo of yours? Remember?
The race photo?
Your marathon running one? You're like, if somebody could buy it for, I forget how much you guys are talking about.
Oh,
no.
That's right.
They were supposed to donate on Patreon. Yeah, there was a photograph of me. I've never run a 5K before. And last year, within like a 2-week notice, I was asked at work if I wanted to take somebody's spot in a 5K for Run Disney. And I thought, sure, why not? How hard is it to run a 5K, right? And without any training, I just went out there and just started running. But there was a couple of photographs that were interesting to see. So we joked around saying that if somebody became a fairy godparent and donated like $300 or some weird number like that, that I would release the photograph to them on Patreon. And nobody ever took me up on the offer. So, I mean, that's hard with like 12 or 13 people listening to the podcast. And when the majority of them are us, you know, that kills half the people already.
Were you Thanos? Killing people already?
Disintegrating.
Oh, and if anybody is at DCA that wants to get me a Infinity Gauntlet sipper cup,
Oh,
I'll be your best friend.
Seriously, oh man, that Infinity Gauntlet sipper, I need that in my life. So hard, you don't even know. I saw it, and my jaw dropped, and I looked at Lynette, and I was like, I need this. Now, me want this.
That thing is so huge. Like, where is it gonna go in your cabinets? Like,
On the shelf behind me. I got a
oh,
spot.
do you have a spot right there between?
Right, look at right there.
Oh.
There it is. I'm sure you could buy one on eBay.
No, I
yeah,
want
for
one
like
from DCA.
$80,000.
No, I want the $20 one.
Dude, that line was super long, and they're only selling it in one place. I'm like, why is it only in Hollywoodland?
To really remind people that Marvel is coming to that area.
Jeez, that's insane. The line was, oh my, I don't even. That is ridiculous.
That's a rope drop item.
Oh yeah,
Right?
easily.
That is a rope drop
Easily.
item.
So I saw a picture of a friend post on Instagram, and he was there at the meet your favorite Disney.
Oh,
What's the event you were talking about?
Disney
earlier?
Channel Go?
Yes, and he had posted a picture of him with David Tennant.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait a
Scrooge.
second. When you first told me about this, you said Raven Simone was going to be there. And I was like,
I know, this was totally random, and
who else was there?
I don't know.
So you have.
BJ, help me out.
So today, you can meet your favorite Disney Channel star during Disney Channel Go, which is a fan fest at Disneyland today, and they even streamed it on Disney Parks blog. But you saw people, the cast from Bunked, DuckTales, Andy Mack, Stuck in the Middle, Raven's Home, which, yes, Heyzen, I love me some Raven Simone.
Oh, snap.
The new Disney Channel original movie Zombies and Freaky Friday. I watched Zombies. It wasn't that bad. I was watching it the other day. I'm like, oh, it's like Bring It On meets Walking Dead. But yeah, I saw some of the videos from the DuckTales panel, and I was like, oh, why am I not there right now? That's cool.
How much was it to get into this thing?
From what I understand, it's free.
So you just had to show up and stand in line to go sit in the panel?
Mm-hmm. Join up. It just says join up with other fans and see some of your favorite stars at stage 17.
Was Lin-Manuel Miranda there too?
I don't think so.
That would... Because yesterday was the kickoff of the Gizmo Duck episode, so he's officially on DuckTales now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yesterday they premiered the episode with Gizmo Duck.
I forgot.
Which, if you guys haven't
Disney.
seen it, it should be available from your provider on demand. And if you don't have on-demand services, it should be available on the Disney Now app if you guys want to check that episode out. Oh man, you mean that Scrooge McDuck, the 10th Doctor, was there. And I could have met him and fangirled completely and told him he's my favorite Doctor. And, of course, Scrooge McDuck. But more importantly, that he's my favorite Doctor. And I'm not there?
You could have been there.
Man.
I'm sorry.
I guess you could have just, or I guess you could just watch it on YouTube, Heyzen. It's the same thing, right?
Same thing as being there.
Just like going to Walt Disney World, just watch it on YouTube and you're there.
It's not the same.
Oh, it's not the
This
same.
is different. This is different because I'm actually meeting a person. Seeing somebody on YouTube is different. Seeing something through Google Maps and on YouTube, same thing.
Same. That's funny.
That's my story and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, Gizmo Duck is like my favorite character aside from Scrooge in DuckTales. So the fact that they finally brought him into the new series, super excited.
Has anybody cosplayed as Gizmo Duck?
Not that I've seen. I'm sure it's happened before.
I would like to try to find that. That'd be some skill to be in costume and on a unicycle.
On a unicycle the whole time.
Unless you make it to where your feet are together and it looks like a wheel.
So you're just kind of waddling the whole time?
I would, whatever works.
Tape your ankles together.
Hey, how you gonna use the restroom?
That's true.
You gotta think about all this.
I would rather try to ride the unicycle. It's like, hold my shoulder pads. I'm off the unicycle. Bathroom. 3 easy steps.
That's funny.
Well, I guess I'll go watch these panels online now. Because I think I'm going to have to sit down and rest my voice and drink some more tea. And at some point go to sleep without working. Oh, speaking of working on stuff, I just want to let everybody know that if you guys know people that might enjoy the podcast and they're not very savvy like you guys are about using a podcast app or downloading podcasts, but they're fans of YouTube, have them subscribe to the Podketeers YouTube channel, because I'm in the process of converting all of the episodes. Well, not all of the episodes. So here's the plan. Bob Gurr's episode was already on the YouTube channel. And I took Rolly Crump's episode, which was one of my favorite talks as well, and then my talk with Brian Crosby. And I'm putting those on the YouTube channel for you to listen to. Aside from that, I'm starting with episode 190 and on. So every episode of Podketeers will now also be on our YouTube channel on a weekly basis. And I'm starting with episode 190 because that's when our new team kicked off. That's when Team Podketeers version 2.0 officially launched. And I felt that it was a really good starting point to kind of get that going again, because we were doing it for a while. And then, it was difficult for me to do it every week. But I think I found a method that will allow me to do it without fail this time around. So the idea is new episodes will launch on Wednesday, and Friday mornings or Thursday nights, you'll see the Podketeers episode on the YouTube channel as well. So if you guys know somebody that would love the podcast, and like I said, they're not as savvy as you are with a podcast app, but they know about YouTube, they like YouTube, introduce them to our channel, have them subscribe, and have them hit that little bell icon for notifications. Every week, they're also going to get a chance to listen to the brand new Podketeers episode, just like you. We would love it and appreciate it if you guys help spread the word about the podcast like that. Also, if you guys aren't subscribed to the Disney for Two YouTube channel, youtube.com/Disney for Two, subscribe, hit that little bell notification icon for updates whenever they upload videos as well. The last video that they posted with the part 2 of the Pixar Fest foods that they've tried is live on their channel, so go check that out. Show them some love and some comments if you wish to do so. If you guys want to follow us on any of the social networks, just search for Podketeers, and remember, it's not Podketeers, it's Podketeers. So Podketeers. I know I get a lot of questions from people saying, but it's not podca. I was like, no, it's not. It's podke. And, it is what it is. But Podketeers on all of the social networks, including Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're supposed to be on Vero, but I don't know what happened to that. I mean, we're still there. Not posting, but we're there. Podketeers.com/team is the place where you'll find all of our personal social links, including links to Melissa's Etsy shop and Gavin's Etsy shop as well, where you can find paintings that Gavin has worked on, some sketches. Melissa's going to be posting some awesome new crafts this week. If you follow her on her Instagram account, you know that she was working on Mama Imelda,
which looks so cool, by the way.
Right?
Thank you.
And some ofrenda pieces of some of my favorite Mexican sweetbread called conchas. Those look amazing, Mel. I can't wait to see what the finished products officially look like.
Thank you.
So again, podketeers.com/team.
I was actually looking at right now, Mom, how did you get her eyes so she's definitely giving the best eye roll ever.
That's her.
I was like, how did you capture
Attention
that?
to detail. All right, guys. Anything else before we close up shop for today?
Don't forget to sign up on Teamboat Willie
Oh,
for
yes.
Chalk Walk.
We're getting closer to figuring out how we're going to do the Teamboat Willie pins. But if you guys have been listening for several episodes now, we've been working on, or several weeks now, we've been working on trying to create like a fundraiser for Teamboat Willie, and we decided on doing a Teamboat Willie pin. It's like those metal pins that you would buy at Disneyland that you trade and collect and stuff like that. And so the idea is that for a donation of, we haven't determined what the price is going to be exactly, but for a donation, we will send you a Teamboat Willie pin, and a portion of that proceed will go towards our Teamboat Willie goal. And we're getting closer to determining who we're going to purchase those pins from. And I'm very excited about this, actually, because I think it's going to be our first like full-blown official fundraiser that we're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the key is that we're going to have to pre-order a specific amount. So the idea would be that, you know, you make your donation, we pre-order them, and then we ship them out as soon as we get all of the pins. As we get ready to finalize that deal, we'll let you guys know, and then we will go ahead and post a link on podketeers.com as soon as it's available. You guys will know if you guys are following us on Instagram. We'll all post it on our individual networks as well, so you guys don't miss out on it. And yeah, thank you for reminding me about that.
Sure, no problem.
All right, guys, that's it. Seriously, I need to go get some tea and get some rest. My chest feels like it's caving in. So, man, I really wish I could have a beer right now. Until next week, here is to beers, cheers, and make it yours. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See you later.